Good morning, everybody. Here we are again. This is our third podcast now with here at Craftex, and we have some special guests this morning. We have the nice ladies here. We have Jen, Christy, and Emberly that are representing Holiballs. Holiballs is going to be here at our open house on the 29th of June. They're going to be showcasing their product, and we are so excited to have you guys here. I have to tell you, when I first saw your product, I think in Dallas probably 5 years ago, is that right? I was blown away by it. I thought, oh my gosh, these are incredible. You know, because the balls that we deal with, the hard plastic balls and the sizes that these things come in, because we deal with like the 200, the 250, 300 millimeter, 500 millimeter balls, and to find out that your balls are all inflatable. I mean, this is an amazing idea. Who came up with this idea? Whose brainchild is this?
Well, you know, I always wanted these big inflatable commercial ornaments that I would see at malls and different places like that. And my husband always said, they're too large, they're too expensive, they don't fit in the attic, and just flat no. And I was really determined to get those home. So I kind of shared the idea with my cousins, Jennifer and Christy. So we decided to take a trip to the Dallas market to see if there was anything like it, because we didn't want to put all the work and effort behind it if someone had already come up with the idea.
Yeah, we actually thought it already existed. And so we were looking for it to source to resell.
Exactly.
And we couldn't find anything like it.
Wow. That's incredible. And how many years ago was that? How long ago was this?
That was in July of 2019.
Wow. Okay. So you've been around a little while. So that's good. Great. and of course, you had to go and find someone to make your product. Did you make it here first? Did you make it locally, source your products and have it made? Or are you having it made overseas? I mean, how did you get involved in all of that, the production line of all this? I mean, is that, how did that work for you?
We're still sorting it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
We started at a very honest place of using Google.
Okay, cool, yes.
Where do you manufacture? Literally, getting on and trying to figure things out, and it was just a push forward. We were determined to make it happen. I started talking to factories at nighttime because they're on a different time schedule than we are. And we found someone in Fiverr to do some CAD files for us. We cut a prototype out of a rice to-go container. Here's what I want it to look like. We gave measurements. I mean, it was very honest, and we knew we needed something strong to hold. We didn't. If something was outside in the wind, we didn't want it to. Whatever was holding it, we didn't want it to break. We wanted to be able to secure it. So we actually sourced shark line. Because we knew it would hold 800 pounds.
Wow. Cool. Okay.
So we hand cut and crimped shark line for all of the units we had our first year.
Oh wow.
So that's what made the ring. But the ball portion of the ornament, I mean, we went through dozens of samples and manufacturers trying to find the right one. So we would get them and they wouldn't stay inflated, or we would get them and they weren't actually shaped like balls, or we would get them and the material wouldn't hold up. And finally, we landed on a ball with a material that was very durable. When it was inflated, it looked like hard plastic or almost like a glass-like finish. And we decided to move forward with that. And what we did, because we felt like this was our little secret, we didn't want anyone else taking our idea, is we had the topper manufactured by one factory and the plug manufactured by another and the ball by another and the packaging somewhere else. Everything would be shipped in to Houston. And we assembled everything, and we started in Amberly's living room, actually. Assembling, and then a friend of ours loaned us a corner of his warehouse, and then we were there until we outgrew that space. But we started hand assembling everything from the start.
So tell me about your first customer, the first major sale that you had with these. How did that go? Tell me. I'm sure there must have been some mistakes here and there, or some faux pas, or.
I think we signed up for a small little, we went to craft fairs like our first year, and our first one was a small event where it's like just a tabletop, and people actually didn't understand what we were selling. They thought we were selling the inflator. They didn't understand. They thought the ornaments were hard plastic, so they were kind of confused by it. So we had to go through that process of kind of explaining. Our first purchase was actually a good friend of Amberly's who had come to the event, and she felt bad for us, but she also wanted them to. So yes, she made her first purchase. But we definitely found out after that we had to explain more about the product, that it was inflatable, because then everybody was like, oh my gosh, they really understood like the awesomeness of the actual ornament, that you could make it this small, and then of course when you needed it, just inflate it and it's ready to go. So
well, when I was first introduced to this product, I was actually working on a party setup because I do that from time to time, working for different people. And someone introduced me to your items, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible, because we were setting up, I believe, for a wedding, and the colors that they were using and everything just fit perfectly. I thought, this is the most ingenious thing. And while I wasn't inflating them, I was actually the person that was installing and putting them up and whatnot. But it turned out incredible. But I thought, wow, this is really a lot of fun. Whoever invented these things, I'm sure they must be doing very well. But this was ingenious.
Oh, thank you.
But of course, now I see the samples that you brought in front of us. Now you're doing more trendy things and patterns and whatnot. Where before, I think you guys strictly just did solid colors and whatnot. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been really working on trying to expand the line, and a part of that also has come with us just finding like a better manufacturer for us and our product. But this season we're super excited. Our minis are back, and this is our first pattern line. We're really excited, but it has taken some time just to make sure. The printing process has been a little bit difficult, just because the size of the larger ornaments is difficult to print 360. So, but we have these in minis, and these are perfect also for outdoor and indoor, and then they deflate, and you can put a whole Christmas tree in a small box.
Yes, that's incredible. Yeah. So in terms of the inflating time, how long does that take? Is it just a matter of seconds? Is it?
Oh my gosh, maybe like 10 seconds for the minis.
Like very small. Yeah, to do the large 30-inch diameter, it's 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay, now tell me, I need to know about the Shark Tank experience. How did that all come about?
Well, very randomly for us. So, in 2019, we started, of course, the small craft fairs. In 2020, we tried to go the wholesale route. We went to Dallas Market, and we found like retailers wanted to purchase as well. And then COVID happened in 2020. And so we stopped going, everything was shut down. We started getting an email from someone that was saying they're from Shark Tank, and being in the wholesale market, you definitely find out that there are people out there that are going to try to take advantage of you. So we didn't initially believe it was actually from a producer from the show. So until we did a little bit more research, we found out. So she contacted us, found us on a list somewhere, and we just went through the process, and we made it on the show. So.
Okay. And how did you end up with that? How tell us about that?
It was a great experience. A little bit grueling, probably, when we were in the tank. But the most grueling part of it was we actually filmed during COVID.
Oh,
so
wow.
we had to quarantine in a hotel room, the three of us, all together for 10 days. We couldn't even step outside the door.
Wow.
So we had lots of time to prepare. So once we were in the tank, it went really well. We got offers from 4 of the 5 sharks, and we made a deal with Mark and Barbara both.
Wonderful.
And they both are still our partners today.
Very good. So it's obviously been a very lucrative experience for all of you, and you're all family, of course.
Yes.
So this is great. Now you're all. When I met you guys, I think I met Emberly in Germany when we were there at the show. So you're obviously gone international now. So you're supplying worldwide. Is that right?
Yes, we currently sell into 37 different countries.
Wow.
We originally started growing internationally online through e-commerce, but 2 years ago we started going to Christmas World in Germany, which is the largest Christmas fair in the world, and that really gave us a boost. What we find there are these, it's amazing designers and installers that are using us as part, sometimes we're actually we're used to being the big product.
Yes.
Over there, we're actually the small product, but they're incorporating in us in airports and shopping centers and hotels.
Right. But what do you think of Christmas World? I mean, you were there, you saw the whole experience. Isn't that an amazing experience?
It's incredible.
Amazing,
I mean, I thought everything was bigger in Texas, but it is in Germany as well.
Yes. And Christmas is big business, isn't it? It's amazing. A lot of people don't realize when people ask me, Michael, what do you do? And I often tell people, well, my trade, I started out in fresh flowers, and I eventually worked into silk flowers and dried flowers, and now I work as a buyer and a designer here for Craftex, and having the chance to be able to go to these shows and see the things that people are doing, it's absolutely amazing, the things that you see and the inspiration that you draw from. So many crazy things there too, but it's an absolutely incredible experience. Were you able to bring any ideas back with you and just kind of see, okay, I want to try something like this, or maybe use this in this application? I mean, there's just so much to draw from there.
Yeah, it really is inspirational being there. Just how they create and craft over there. It is really incredible. We are trying to make a larger ornament. That is something that people want. I mean, we want as well, but we definitely want to take Holiball bigger.
Right.
So that was one thing, but also I think just expanding more in different different holidays, you know, trying to get that down too is really where we're trying to go.
Yeah, that was my next question, quite honestly, because I know you just focus on Christmas at the moment, but I mean, you also have different holidays like Easter and Mother's Day and St. Patrick's Day and so on and so forth. I mean, I can see this going in so many different directions. It's amazing.
So our Halloween line will be launching, well, we launched it at trade shows in January, but we'll be launching online this season for the first time. So we have inflatable pumpkins and we have glow-in-the-dark googly eyes. So we're very excited about those. We've also done some soft launches on Easter eggs. So that's another holiday we're working towards. And we're getting ready to. I don't know if Christy's am I allowed to say?
Go ahead, that's fine.
We're launching a summer line bubble. We have bubbles coming out.
Oh, how cool! Okay.
Yeah. So they'll launch later this week.
Are they going to be like iridescent and translucent?
They are.
Okay, wow.
They're beautiful.
How totally cool is that? That's going to be great. That's going to be fun. But in terms of like the larger scale things, like we see in Christmas world, I mean, we're talking like Vegas-sized display pieces. I mean, it's incredible the things that these people come up with.
Yes.
I mean, are you talking about like bigger than a house balloons or balls and things? Or
I don't know if we'd get bigger than a house, but maybe we could stack them that big. No, so we're looking at a 4 or 5 foot diameter.
Okay,
yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, right. That's great.
Yeah.
So tell me about all the different mechanics about these particular items that you're selling. I mean, who came up with all the engineering behind all this? Was that all of you collectively? Because you all obviously have the cap. You have the different attachments that allow you to attach to different things. Is that something that you all had practical knowledge on, or were you experimenting, or how did all that come about?
So we would just test at home and see what worked, and we wanted a product that we were proud of and we could stand behind. And so if it wasn't something that we would want to put our name on, then it was back to the drawing board.
Right.
And so, and to be really honest with you, you know, this business has grown really organically. So the first year we would hear feedback from customers. We love this, but this is an issue we're having.
Right.
So we would take that information, change our molds, update what we were doing.
Right.
So continually we've updated the product based on feedback. And, you know, one thing is at first we did not sell, or the fishing line, the monofilament did not come in the package. And people would say, well, they're not staying in the trees, they're flying off. Well, it's because they would use the cheap line. And it needs to be at least 25 pounds.
Right.
So just to avoid that, we started adding that in the package.
Okay, all right.
You know, just to make the customer experience better and for them to feel proud of our product, even though it wasn't our product issue. We just learned, you know, going through that experience. And I don't know, I'm so proud of us, honestly. I feel weird saying that out loud, but like all of it has been done on our own, to be really honest with you. Like Christy has 100% designed every package that we've done. You know, Jennifer has gone out there and done our books and made sales, and I do the logistics part. I've learned just by doing it and experience. And so, you know, we have a lot to learn, but we have grown so much in the last few years. Just because we're forced to.
Yes, absolutely.
And to add to that, you know, some of those things that we're forced into, it's we listen to customer feedback. We love customer feedback. And so we're always looking for ways to improve the product. So like Amberly was saying, like we changed out the rope that it first came with better fishing lines so they would stay in trees. We upgraded the toppers so the toppers actually click into place. So originally they were flying all over the place. But we've also, you know, people want to use them without the topper because they're bobbles, so you can use them at weddings. So we have developed a new plug that doesn't have a stem, so it looks more like just a bobble that we'll be launching here soon.
Now, have you guys worked in the industry before? Do you have that kind of experience behind you, working in party planning or installation work of any kind where your items are used? No experience that way? Just an idea that came to you guys? You had a need that came up, and you obviously are filling that need because you guys are doing amazing work.
I could say we were unofficial party planners for friends and family, and you know, Christy,
we like to do like big events, like if it's a birthday party or you know a cousin's baby shower. It's always like it was definitely an event, not just like a backyard party. That was just something fun for us and very creative in that aspect, and just that's why we wanted the product to be more versatile, not just like an ornament, but something you could continue to use year round at different functions. So it was just fun creating with them, really.
Now, let me ask you this. When it comes to imitation or people imitating you guys, that happens in every industry, wherever you're working. Obviously, there are people out there that are trying to do what you guys are doing.
For sure.
And
yeah.
obviously, that's probably the best form of flattery there is.
They keep saying that, but it's really hard. It's really hard to be flattered.
Right. But of course, you guys are the originators. You guys, did this. So, how do you work with that? How do you deal with that? Sometimes it's frustrating at times, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think we also learn from it too. Examining those that have come out copycats. I mean, there definitely are differences, and our customers that actually say, if they buy ours versus the knockoff, like ours definitely is a better quality, and it will last longer. But it really just comes down to your preference. Ours is made to withstand several years and to evolve in your holiday and year-round decor, rather than just be like a one-stop kind of. You buy it this season and then you throw it away the next. So we're really trying to create more of like the brand than just the product itself. So that's like our biggest difference in what we have to keep focusing on, rather than like another one coming up kind of copying us. But we are patented, and we have 2 patents, so it's even stronger. But because of the process, I mean, a couple things like from last season, we had someone kind of appeal our patent, so we had to go through that process. So it is stronger now than it was when we originally were granted the patent. So we are really excited about that for this season. So there probably won't be as many knockoffs, but I'm sure they'll be there. But we'll just go through that like we have before.
Right.
And we like to tell people to definitely beware of what you're buying.
Exactly.
Yes, because now it's not just other companies are trying to knock off Holiball, and it's definitely they're weaker products. They're also using our faces to promote their products.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we had some issues with that last year with customers thinking they were buying from us because they saw our faces. And it wasn't actually us.
We'd find out when we would get the customer service email of what was wrong with the product, and we're like, wait, where did you buy from? Oh, that's not ours.
Yes. Wow. So that's something to think about. Wow.
But ours also have a reflective agent in the material, so it's one thing that I feel is very strong for it. So it'll look glass-like, it'll look reflective when it is in the light or outside, whereas the others have just more of a duller finish.
Right. So are your items UV resistant, UV protected, and so on? So of course you said endurance. You can expect to use these things over several years. But tell us more about the product. What can people expect about you to know about your product? What should they know?
Yeah, so they do have a UV resistant coating in it. Not to say that it's 100% completely composite, but it is.
Okay.
But they can withstand, really harsh climates. So anything from negative 20 to 120 degrees. We've even had people like from our customers from Canada or through Minnesota with their harsh winters, tell us, hey, I was so shocked. Like this actually withstood, our winter, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, yes, it's great. Like it's testimony to the product. So.
Actually, our first wholesale customer was an Australian company, and they have bought from us every year since. And he has been our biggest fan, just sharing that we have these in the sun all the time, and we haven't had any issues with them. We're able to use them year after year, so they're able to. They can continue buying because they keep selling them.
Right.
But
I keep thinking about our harsh climate here. Our Texas sun, our Houston sun, but of course Australia. I mean, that's got to be even more intense as well. Yeah,
because Christmas for them is like their dead of summer.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's like the hottest.
We always love at trade shows when he visits the booth, because whoever's there, he's selling the product.
That's great. I mean, that's got to be that's a wonderful thing when your customers are selling your product for you. That's a wonderful thing. Testimony.
And manufacturing is not always perfect. So if there are issues, we take pride in making sure we take care of those issues and make sure the customer has the best experience possible. And if, God forbid, something does happen or it does fade, we do replace that.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. That's a great thing to know.
And one-use item, we haven't mentioned, they are made to hang, stake, or float in a pool.
Yes.
So we have instructions on how to do all of those things. As well.
That's great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I need to ask you as well, when it comes to the designing part of all these things, the different patterns and whatnot, where do you draw your inspiration? Are you constantly looking online? Do you look to do you look at other vendors? Who out there is doing business right?
If we could get in that head of hers. She's brilliant. Really, she just comes out of nowhere with the stuff.
It's
and I'm like, wow.
It's a collective effort, for sure. It's it's a lot of good feedback from all of us, but we try to stay more like brand conscious too. So we want it to be focused on kind of like where, like kind of where we are as a brand design wise, and not necessarily just putting what everyone else has on the product.
Right.
So that's something that we've been trying to do, trying to develop some of the patterns and of course colors and different things like that.
Right. When you're designing, do you find that you produce more? You're able to think more, create more during any part of the day? Are you a nocturnal person, evening? When do these ideas come to you?
Normally when I'm doing something else.
Right. I know for me, I think when I'm creating myself or thinking about ideas, I think I'm more of a nocturnal person. I kind of come up with the concept at night, or I wake up and I have to sketch something and draw something out. But yes. I know
share
different
that.
people. Yes.
Painful quality.
Yes. Now let me ask you, what's the most favorite part of your job? All of you.
It is very rewarding hearing from customers, both retail and wholesale, just how much they've loved the product and they've used it. So it's very fulfilling to hear that we created something that brings joy and that people actually like.
Right. Okay, well that's great to know. Let me ask you this: where can we find your product?
You can find it right here at Craftex, actually.
All right, wonderful. Okay.
Nice. On your feet.
We are super excited that you guys are going to carry us this year.
Yes, we are too. We've wanted you guys here for the longest time, and we're glad that we finally have you here. Are you guys represented online? Do you have social media accounts?
Yeah, you can find us. We have our own website. It's theholiball.com.
Okay.
We also can find us on Instagram at the Holiball. If you're also looking to, if you're retailers, we do go to trade shows too. If you're looking for different kind of products that we don't necessarily carry. Well, we carry everything online. So I don't want to say that. Sorry.
Okay. We're also on fair now for those small retailers that aren't able to travel to all the trade shows, and there's, we're in quite a few mom and pop boutiques across the country.
Okay.
And then we also sell on Amazon.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, great. Let me ask you this question. The original question was, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. In your instance, I see 3 people here, possibly 4. Would you say that was true? You're the sum of the 4 people that you spend the most time with.
Possibly.
I would say so. We are all very different, but it's very beneficial for our business because we have strengths in different areas.
Exactly.
So
you obviously all work very well together. You feed off of one another, I'm sure, bouncing ideas back and forth.
It ebbs and flows.
Okay. and your family.
We
so
make it work.
Yeah. Okay, great.
We can cry and laugh all in one day.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever had any big mistake in your that you did something wrong, or maybe a customer called and said, "Oh no, this isn't right," or what have you learned from any of the mistakes that you've made?
Goodness, how long is this podcast? We have a lot of early struggles, honestly. One of our biggest ones was manufacturing, and I think in 2021 actually. Was it 21? The years
22.
just meld together.
21 was when we got hacked.
Right.
Oh yeah. 21 we had a hacking, and also 21 was the big issue with shipping after COVID. We had so all of our product was stuck, at the ports, and we weren't able to get it. So we had a lot of upset customers. So that was terrible. And then the next season we had an issue. They were making copycats overseas of our products, so they gave us the wrong product. Our plugs didn't fit, so we had a huge issue.
Right.
So just constantly learning and being on our feet, and making those those relationships that we can actually trust in. We're still getting over some of those headaches, but we are definitely making better relationships, and especially being able to be in touch with those people and physically be where the product is produced and having our hands definitely in it.
Right. But building relationships is a big part of business as well.
Definitely.
So, with your vendors, with your customer base, and so on and so forth, being out there, being present. Absolutely. I definitely believe in
that was a huge thing for us in 2020, especially you mentioned the shipping, everything being backed up. We had to pay double the amount we normally would.
Yes.
But we had promised vendors and buyers that this product would be here by X date.
Exactly.
And we wanted to stick by that, so we took a huge hit getting it here, but I feel like it did add trust to the relationship. Oh, they said they're going to do this, and they did it.
Yes.
So even though it was more out of pocket for us, I think in the long term, it helped build the relationship.
That's wonderful.
Well.
That's good. everything is marketing. What do you think about that phrase?
It's very true.
100%.
All right.
I'm amazed at what I see online and, you know, what you're influenced by with different people. And if I was to see that same product just sitting on a table, you know, I may not be excited about it, but I would absolutely agree with everything is marketing.
Okay.
I think one of the things we've learned is a lot of people aren't as creative as we may be. So putting the creative in front of them makes a huge difference. So when we were first selling, we were like, yeah, why doesn't everybody get it? Like, it's amazing. Why doesn't everybody get it? But until we really had those lifestyle images and we're able to show people, hey, this is what you can do with it, and it's as easy as we say or saying it is, that really is what pushed us forward.
Right. It's got to be a practical item. It's got to be something people that find easy to use and want to use as well. So, yeah, absolutely.
That visualization, for example, we say you can use for a wedding, and the thought is, but then we show them this photo of this pearlescent ball we have with floral hanging off of it, and they're like, oh, wow. Oh, I didn't think of that. So, you know, we do have to show the customer a lot of times, well, this is what you could do.
Yeah.
I think the possibilities are endless with you guys. I mean, the products that you guys are doing, it's amazing. You guys are incredible. You really are.
Thank you.
What is the one final thought that you'd like to leave your listeners or everybody here with? What would you like to share with them?
For me, it's anything is possible. Who would have thought we had this idea with no background experience and no knowledge how to manufacture and produce it and sell it? And, you know, we brought it to market. It's well liked, and we're still here 5 years later.
Wonderful.
Pushing on. So I think it's, you know, if you have an idea, and I would just say go for it. That's my biggest thing is so many people I feel like hold back or don't chase their dream or don't chase the ideas they have. So that, for me, that's kind of what it is.
Thank you. That's very inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, well, I think we're pretty much here. I think we're good. I think we're going to wrap up things. And again, we're just going to say thank you for tuning in to our third podcast now. And you'll be able to visit with Emberly here, I think, on the 29th of this month. She'll be here doing a demonstration on the product and showing people how to use it and fielding questions. So thank you all for coming by. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.